Hey, and welcome back to Gambit Digital on the desk of interesting things, back for another unboxing video for you. Today we have something quite interesting in the form of the Papyrus tablet from a company called, and if we can find it here, Shashamane Technologies. Now, apologies for the terrible mispronunciation, but that name is quite the tongue twister. Now, this little Windows 8 tablet wasn't something that I had planned on picking up, but I've been curious about a tablet that can run Windows, and as much as I love my MacBook Pro, I'd like to leave it at home on trips where I kind of only need to do small things like write an update for the site, and maybe some web browsing, and some YouTube videos. So over the years, I've actually had a number of tablets myself, mostly of the Android variety, with the most recent one being a Fire tablet from Amazon, as you can see right here, because I'm pretty invested in that ecosystem. So, as I said, I've been wanting to try out one of these little cheapy tablets for a while, and today is kind of the perfect day for that. The story regarding this tablet is kind of an interesting one in a couple of ways. So a friend of mine was cleaning out their storage locker this weekend. You can think of Storage Wars and get an idea for that. He needed some help, so I jumped in. In return for lending him my help, he let me go through some of the stuff at the end of the day that was left over there and said to take whatever I wanted. So I grabbed this little Papyrus because I thought it was neat, as well as a couple other little goodies that aren't tech related. So the other interesting thing is that I actually couldn't find much about the company Shashamane Technologies. Their website is still active, it's still up. I'm not sure how active it actually is, I haven't emailed them or anything, but it hasn't been updated since about 2015. And their only two products consist of this tablet and a very cheap looking Android phone. So that's pretty interesting. I also have no idea how much this tablet costs. I can't actually find a single video on YouTube. I can't find a written review. And the only actual written content regarding this Papyrus tablet comes from some place called like Tablet Authority or something, a website that no longer exists. So, I can only imagine it wasn't that big a seller, at least not here in the United States. And the company seems to have actually had a bunch of offices, mostly one main Hong Kong office, probably since this was manufactured over there, and the rest being in Africa. I think 4 or 5 offices throughout Africa and one in Atlanta. So it probably wasn't big here. The only price I can actually find regarding this Papyrus tablet is from Amazon, listing it for $179, but the last review from there came from 2015, and a lot of those people weren't very happy. So if we just look at the box itself, this one is still brand new. We're dealing with, and here's one of the reasons I grabbed it. You got an 8-inch display, 1280 by 800 IPS panel, not great. It's got an Intel Bay Trail TZ3735G. That's okay. It's pretty low end. It's got 3G data, which is just going to be useless. 1.83 quad core, and here's the kicker: Intel HD Gigafic. I'm not sure what that is. I'm sure that's Intel graphics. 16 gigabytes, front and rear crappy pixel cameras, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, stereo, 6A, blah blah blah, on and on and on. So you get the idea. So let's open her up. Okay, and we are back. My battery died, so we had to recharge it, so things look a little bit different because we're in a different spot. But here is the Papyrus, so let's open her up, move this to the side, and let's pull everything out one at a time. So, first thing we have here is some sort of case. Apologize for that sound, it's probably going to sound nasty. So we pull this out. This is kind of not totally black, but it's got a texture to it. I'd say gray, but it's more black. And what we have is this piece of foam. No, just kidding. What we have here is the keyboard that goes along with this. It's your typical cheapy little keyboard. Doesn't feel great to type on. Looks like it would break pretty quickly, but it'll get the job done in a pinch, if you do tend to use this more as a computer, you're probably going to want to get a new one. It has this sort of fake Apple kind of what is it, that magnetic thing that the iPads had or still have? I don't know, iPads, I don't know. Seems to work okay. Feels fine. This thing right here is where the tablet gets held in on and will automatically scratch your keyboard. So, let's move that off to the side there. Next up, we've got a user manual here for the Papyrus. 3G data, not going to need that. There's the Intel Bay Trail T. Putting those two words together is a little confusing. So what do we have? Thank you for choosing the Papyrus portable devices. Take advantage of it looks fairly well translated. No issues. Turn the tablet on. I mean, you had that glaring issue on the back, but I don't see an issue on anywhere in there. Okay, so that's fine. And then we have, of course, the tablet itself. Pretty well packaged. In case you wanted to know what brand this tablet was, it's Papyrus in sans serif. Jesus, could that look... Screen printed on there. That is so grossly annoying. Just look at that. I cannot say... I always want to say Papyrus. This belongs... This is either a Papyrus tablet, or this is the tablet that belongs to your Papyrus, because the size of this on the back feels like it's for old people so they don't lose it, that it's theirs. That is a grossly large logo. I don't know if they should be that proud of this thing, but let's look at the front itself. You can see me there in the video. It looks fine, pretty sizable. It's got the Windows button on the bottom. Trying to see if I can tell the screen is capacitive or resistive. We'll find out. I'm sure it's probably one of the newer ones. And it has the plastic on there, not a cover, just an actual plastic. So let's actually peel that off. Look at that. You can see our E3 special right up there, framed up. Okay, looks fine. Pretty gross there. If we look on the sides here, we have access to, that's an open port, SD, SIM card, one of those two, either or. It's pretty gross that it's open like that. We got an up and down. We got a metal frame. It feels metal. I'm not sure if it is. Probably aluminum or something. So it does feel nice and sturdy on the top. We have a headphone jack. We have the charging. We have the camera that you'll never use. Slim and sleek on the other side. Slim and sleek on the bottom. What looks like a microphone down there. Speaker on the back. What does it say down here? There's a Shashamane Technologies. Now, I can already feel... this doesn't feel high quality. It feels pretty cheap. Touching the screen, there is... Look at that. An awful lot of give and flexibility. I have, like I said earlier, a Fire tablet that doesn't do it. So look, so this right here is smooth. This is lined up really well with the edge, but if you flip it on this side, it is not. And this is, I don't know, it's going to focus. There you go. This is actually raised. You can see it. So look at that. So right off the bat, we are not doing very well. Top is fine. The left side is fine, but the right side, pretty much the bottom right side is pretty exposed. Now I'm not sure if that's because of the age of this tablet sitting where I found it, or if that's what it's gonna be when you get it. I have a feeling it's gonna be the latter, Papyrus. So we'll move that off to the side. It comes, of course, with your micro USB, and it comes with a disgustingly large charger that is European in nature, and you have the US one that goes right on top of that. That absolutely doesn't look safe and looks highly volatile, like it will blow up on the bottom. Of course, these cheapy tablets tend to put everything in at once so that they don't have to repackage or do anything different. And that is it for the box. So what we get, you get the tablet, you get the case, you get the manual, and you get that, and you get a... Ooh, that is gross, really bad. Okay, so let's power this on. Let's see if there's any juice in this. I have a feeling there's not going to be any juice. Not getting anything. Yeah, I'm not getting anything. That's the only power, those are the volume. Okay. Alright, so we're going to do another jump cut because we didn't have enough as it was in this video. I'm going to get some juice in there. That's super gross already with my fingerprints. And then we're going to take a look at the tablet itself running the 8.1, and we'll try some basic Windows Store programs and games to see how it holds up. So we'll be right back. Okay, and we are back a little bit closer here so we can take a look at this. So this is the Papyrus. A couple of things about this. When I turned this on for the very first time, it ran you through the basic Windows setup stuff. It asks you for your name, some info, wireless access, if you want to link to a Microsoft account. I did because I do plan on at least trying to use this for work here and there, and I wanted to see how well it worked. But with that said, it went into its loading features, like the welcome, Windows is coming screen, stay tuned, hang tight. Figured that would be a few minutes at most. Ended up being about 30 minutes, probably even longer, because I had time to watch, I think at least two videos on YouTube, which were about 20 minutes in length. I think one might have been a little shorter. And then I also went outside. So by the time I came back, it was finished. So at least I wanted roughly 20 to 30 minutes just to get into Windows. And that's pretty slow. So I didn't add anything to this once I got it installed and running. This is just stock Windows 8.1 here, as you can see. It's actually tied to my Windows desktop, so you see a couple of news feeds and the like, and my actual purple desktop, not the blue that comes with Windows 8.1. And if you can see how long that took to transfer to that, that is an indication of what we can expect here in a second. So, first thing I did, download a couple games, because odds are, outside of word processing, this thing's probably going to be okay with basic word processing, okay with basic videos on YouTube and the like. So we went into that, and we ran into our first problem. And you can probably see it right there. We tried to install Asphalt 8, pretty standard mobile game. I think it's one of the test beds for most every mobile platform around that racing game. We got an error for it. Now, we didn't get an error because the game doesn't work. It actually does work, but we ran out of room after installing one game. We installed Modern Combat 5, some sort of shooter game, and right off the bat, we picked Asphalt 8 second, and we also had the Spartan Wars, the Light Edition. So 3 games, not massive games. You figured they'd work, and in most phones today, you can have all 3 of those working. We ran out of room after the very first one. And we should check out, let's see, PC info, and we can see what's going on with this. If I can bring this up a little bit, see if it focuses in on there. So we got, we are running a Intel Atom CPU clocked at 1.33 gigahertz. That's, I guess, pretty low end, but that's fine if you're using just a basic little tablet. But we got here, the problem right here is installed RAM, 1 gigabyte of RAM. That's going to get you pretty much nothing, and everything is going to be slow. We got 32-bit operating system, limited touch support with 10 touch points. That tells me that I'm not actually sure. It's pretty responsive sometimes, and sometimes it takes a little bit to register your press, but I don't know if that's because of how terrible the tablet is internally, or if because it's capacitive resistive touch screen, because the screen does look like it has some give. And it's got 8.1, Windows 8.1 with Bing. I don't think you can get Windows without Bing. That's kind of in there together. And there's your product ID for whatever. But another problem, disk space. 2 gigabytes, 0.4 gigabytes available of 9.95 with 5/10 or whatever, 5% of that going to whatever resources it needs. And that's after installing a single game. That was it. We got the Modern Combat put in, and that's all she wrote. And as you can tell here, my app size is 1.3 gigabytes. No pictures, no videos, no music, no docs, nothing in the recycle bin. So let's see the apps and let's actually see what's taking up all this room. And if I bring this in, you can actually see what's taking up all that room. That is Modern Combat 5 Esports FPS at 1.29 gigabytes. Next is the games, on and on. And that's yet to install Office 365. And if you know, Office 365 is over a gig install. Now, to be fair, that is pretty lackluster, but you do have support. Where is it? Down there? Up here? Back there to add your SD card. So if you get something along this cheap nature, just keep that in mind. You're going to need an SD card regardless. So I haven't checked out the game yet, but let's give Modern Combat FPS, oh hey, how's it going, a shot to see what this is all about and how well it runs. Okay, so we got a fake Call of Duty thing going on here. It's a standard video game, so you can't cut through and skip cutscenes like most people would let you. Darn it. No, wait, no, you can't. Maybe up here. There we go. See? So I had to tap that several times to get that to go. Sometimes it reads, sometimes it doesn't. More often than not, it's not. And we got... Oh, please wait. Please wait. I don't want to wait. Just let me play the game. I don't want to lag into anything. So now we're kind of waiting in real time to see what happens. We got traditional Gruff McDuff guy over here. Looks like he's ready to be on the cover of the next Battlefield game. Age is, we'll put 45. That's pretty close. And female, so that's fine. Modern Combat needs to download extra data while you are playing. So if you've already noticed, we already downloaded 1.29 gigabytes for this game. But it wants to download more, so we'll see what happens. So we're just going to go in, and this is going to be really, really hard to see. So you're going to have to bear with me here. We are, what is going on? Oh, I guess we're underwater. Do a little Metal Gear Solid 1 intro. Cinematic stuff. Okay, so we are in game. You can kind of see it here. I'm not set up to record this kind of stuff. Tap to shoot. Okay, so it's... You can see it's not the video. We are lagging a little bit. And this is the real face of war, guys. Everyone stand still, and you just shoot. Also, I'm trying to do this through the viewfinder of the camera. So there we go. Drag to jump cover. Guess we can just stay in here? No. Okay, this game's super silly. It's actually running okay. It's not bad. It's a little choppy. But if you want to do a little bit of gaming, this looks fine. I'm sure that this game is probably one of the more demanding ones. What is this, Army of 2 now all of a sudden? One of the more demanding ones, and it does seem to be okay. Not the smoothest experience. It's clearly not as solid as my phone that just came out this last year. And even my phone, I'm using the Honor 6X from a review we did, isn't top of the line phone. So now that let's see, let's go some outdoor environment and see what we got. Iron sights? Why would you need iron sights? This is a Call of Duty clone. Just shoot from the hip. And now I'm going to start playing here a little bit if I don't pay attention. Yeah, this is okay. It's not real bad. So let's get out of there. The only problem, of course, is you got one game. And I'll show you here. If we try to log into Asphalt 8, this is not enough disk space. So that is a shame in that regard. But other than that, I guess it's not bad. If you had an SD card, I don't have one for this one. Currently, you might be okay. I'm pretty sure you can install things to an SD card if I remember correctly. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. But the rest, everything seems to work fine. You got maps, you got your OneNote, the basic stuff. I even think it has an entry-level OneNote. Here it is, like writing thing if you don't have Word. Let's get started. Let's not get started. I don't want to get started with this. And then if you do rotate it, of course, it does change. Now see, it works okay, but it's a little bit laggy. I don't know if that's with the Atom. I'm going to say more, or I'm going to lean more towards the side of that being with the RAM department. So that's basically what you get with this Papyrus. Now the only thing is, chances are you're not going to find one because it was a fluke accident. Then I ran into this one, and this thing, when I did set it up initially, it also said that it was set up ready to go for South Africa. So I'm not sure how this one came to be here in the United States. But this is the setup you would have if you're going to type. And well, did I do this wrong? This has to be right. How on earth does this stay up? Does this fold down? Is that really it? This can't be. That can't be right, guys. Somebody in the comments is going to yell at me that I just haven't seen how this works. That's how it goes away. This should turn into a kickstand, right? It should be comfortable here to type with. But I guess that's... Oh man, that's a shame. That's disappointing. They can't be right. Oh well. And these are... How the hell did this come out? These are hard plastic connectors right there. So those are going to snap off probably within a couple of uses. So again, you're probably going to want to get yourself another case. Oh, I guess like that? How does... But then you can only put half of it in. Yeah, I guess like that. How strange. Is that how it is on the iPad? Move the camera here so you can kind of see it a little bit better. And this, of course, needs to be plugged in, so it doesn't have its own thing. Doesn't feel great. Really small. You're not going to want to type your novels on there, but if you are working like I am and you need to get a couple posts on, that should be fine. Also, this size, I believe it's 8 inches, if I am not mistaken. You actually probably can get far better keyboards in that regard. So, that's the Papyrus. The Papyrus. I cannot say it without saying Papyrus. And of course, no one in your family or those in your immediate area are ever going to forget that you're using a Papyrus that apparently you rented out from the library. So that's this one. I'm going to suggest that you stay away. If you can find this for 20 bucks or so, maybe they do exist out there from the Samsons and Untitled Technologies things. It might be a fun gift to pick up. I don't, give it to a kid. I wouldn't even say give it to a kid. That'd be mean because this thing's gonna break as it is. Yeah, just stick with if you're looking for an entry-level tablet, just stick with a Fire. They go on sale all the time for less than $100, like $50. Just get one of those, even if you find one of these for like 20. Because look at that. Look at the give on that screen. Look at I'm barely touching it. Use my pinky. Look how little that is, and how bad that is. So. I want to thank you for watching this video. We have a couple more unboxings coming up with some things that have been sent our way. So stay tuned for more of those. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this little unboxing and look at the Papyrus and what you think of this little device. So until next time, we'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.